Okay, cool. All right. So I'm glad you guys are here. This is going to be fun. So I want to introduce you to my friend LeAnn Sexton. She is a professional wardrobe stylist, and she is going to give us some awesome tips for how to really, really fine tune your wardrobe wherever you are in your health. If you're like really super happy with where your body is and feeling great already, then let's go in and get your wardrobe aligned with that. And if you're on a journey and changing sizes, then she's going to share some tips for how to adapt as your health sort of evolves and optimizes. So that's going to be fun. So I'm going to ask her a few questions. And then when I kind of finish up, then you all start thinking about or jot down the questions you have for her, and we'll put her on the spot and see how she can help us. So this is casual, this is unplugged, so feel free to ask whatever you want, and she will try to help you. And at the end too, I'll get you connected if there's like a burning question that you don't want to share in front of everyone. I get that. It's okay. So here's the deal. So LeAnn, I guess in general, first, tell us how you got into wardrobe styling, and why you think that it's important for people, especially women, to have this happen.
Well, most of us don't really relate wardrobe and confidence so much, as in there's other things that you focus on. And I myself have always been into fashion, have always been into clothing, makeup, jewelry, you name it, I'm the girly girl. So when I got older and started kind of diving into what do I want to do with my life, this never even came into the picture, not ever. I actually kind of stumbled my way to it. I've had a boutique, I've worked in direct sales, I've worked in an office. Like, I've always been interacting with people, and it just never clicked with me until my daughter was getting ready to graduate from college, and my husband treated us to a personal stylist appointment in New York, because she was actually in New York. And I worked one-on-one with a stylist who listened to me, understood what would look good on my body. And that was it. I was like, oh my gosh, I felt amazing when I left that appointment. And I was just like, that's what I want to do. So I'm 50 years old by this time. So I'm like, I wish I'd learned this so much earlier in my life, because I've had closet meltdowns. I've had going into a store and going for something specific. But then once I got in there, it just overwhelmed me, because there's just things everywhere. And I was like, I don't even know where to start. Once I met with the stylist, once I kind of saw how pieces go together, I went to seek out training, became certified, understand now how the way your body is made and shaped, certain things look better on you. So we all are on this journey of we want to look slimmer. I mean, that's just what everybody wants. And according to what your shape is and how the clothing lays on your body, we can physically make the eye think that you look slimmer. And then, of course, your confidence goes through the roof, because you've achieved what you want to achieve, and you feel amazing. And then you just continue on from there. So in a roundabout way, that was, I think, the answer to your question.
Yeah, that was perfect. And so when someone is like, okay, my wardrobe is stressing me out, I open the closet and I'm like, speaking from experience here, and I look at all the things and I'm like, some of them fit, some of them don't. What's in style? What am I sick and tired of? When you have that closet overwhelm, especially if you have things in like 3 or 4 different sizes, which, I talk to people about all the time. I get it. where do you start with someone? What do you think is important to do first when you guys first open the closet together and they're like, holy moly, this place, like, just, I'm sweating just thinking about all these clothes and trying to figure out what to choose. Like, what do you do first?
Well, the first thing I like to do, and I like to do this when I work one-on-one with people. So I offer a service called a closet edit, and I offer personal guided shopping, because those are the two things that people just get overwhelmed with. So when I go into a person's closet, first thing we want to do is we're going to simplify it, because we need to take out all of that overwhelm. When you look at that closet and you think, I have nothing to wear. I mean, I know that's what people say all the time, but it's true, because you're like, oh my gosh, I have to go to this party, or I have to go to this work event, and I don't know what I'm going to wear. I don't want to wear the same thing that I've worn to every single work event. The closet edit is the perfect thing. So what a lot of people don't realize is everyone has a style. Some people tell me I have no style. I'll get these questionnaires and people will say, my style is blah, my style is mom, my style is a non-existent. And I'm like, no. Once I look at your closet, I can see a lot of what your style is, and everybody has it. It's what you gravitate towards. So we'll start in the closet, and we automatically start with things that you have not worn in a year. And if you've been on this journey for over a year, you know you're not going back to those. So we do a quick edit, and then we go back in for the second one. And we're like, okay, now we're looking at each piece. We've decided what your style is, and I like to associate words with that. So I have everybody pick 3 words that describes their style, and we pick up the piece and we're like, okay, does this say classic to you? Because a lot of people will say, oh, I like classic pieces. Well, does this say classic to you? No, it goes. Does this, because we need to get you in alignment with what you actually, your body knows what you like. Your body knows what you are going to feel good in. And we've got to narrow that down and get you into that. And as we take pieces out, if we're keeping, let's say we've narrowed it down, we've gone through, any piece that is iffy or that we're keeping gets tried on, because that's the second part of it. If you try it on, and it doesn't, you like the piece, but it just doesn't quite fit, and you don't know exactly why. There is a reason, and usually it's because it does not go with your body shape. Now, our body's shape does not change with weight. Your size will change, but your shape will stay the same. So I'm a rectangle. I will always be a rectangle. You can take on a second shape, which before this journey, I was also an apple. So there are certain things that fit an apple shape better than they do an hourglass or a pear. So once we start lining everything up, I can see it in their faces when they put on something and they're like, I get it now. I get it. And the same with the guided shopping. I had a client a couple weeks ago. She has an open house that she's having for a new business, and she does not like to shop. She hates it. She despises it. She'll go in and say, oh yeah, I like that, just so she can get it and go. And I said, we're not doing that. So we went through, established all of her style words, had her try things on. She had sent me pictures of, she wanted to look professional. So the professional to her was a suit. So a pair of pants and a jacket and some type of blouse underneath. What she was sending me, picture after picture of what she liked, I knew was not going to work on her body. We got into the dressing room. I let her pull the things that she wanted to try. She put it on and she'd go, nope, I hate this. Nope, see, nothing fits me. And she was a larger size, and she would say, it's because I'm too fat. It's no clothes will fit me. No, that is not true. The number on the tag is just a number. It is a starting point. It is not how you are measured. It is not how you are valued. It is nothing. It is a number for you to try. And a lot of people buy their clothes too big. And that was one thing she was doing. She was not doing hers too big. She was doing hers too small. And therefore they weren't comfortable. So then I get the nothing's comfortable. Nothing fits me. I'm too fat. Nothing's comfortable. We adjusted the size, put on a pair of pants that was made to fit an apple body shape with the details in it. And she put those on and I could see in her face, oh my God, there is clothes that I can wear, that I don't have to keep wearing things from 10 years ago that I'm squeezing into. So that is the main thing to start with, is remember, a number is just a number. Take out what you are not drawn to, take out what doesn't fit you, because that right there is weighs on our mindset. When you put on clothes that are too tight, you still think, I'm still too fat. I'm still too big.
I think that is a huge, huge thing to make a mental note of. Are my clothes my size? Because I have that conversation in both directions with people. One is like, I'm so self-conscious, and I'm beating myself up because my clothes are too tight, like you just said, when they don't need to be. You know, wear what flatters your body. And then so while you're working on your health journey up here, your body can be comfortable down here. And then the next conversation that I have with people all the time is, get rid of the clothes that you are never going to wear again because they are too big. You are not that size anymore. That identity of the bigger size, release. And you know, I'm not a pro at this like you are, but I can tell people, you've got to release that person, that version of yourself that's a person who wears that larger size. That's not you. And that is an emotional process I have learned over the years. So when someone's got stuff they just want to hold on to that's too big for them, and they're like, okay, like it was really expensive, or gosh, I thought it was really pretty at the time, or I'm scared that I'm going to slide backwards in my health habits. How do you have that conversation with someone to get them to just release the stuff that they should never need again because their healthy new body doesn't wear that size anymore?
Good. That is very good. A good question. The first thing I'm going to have you do is put it on. And we're going to see you have this much room in your pants. You have this much room in your pants. However much room, if you do not wear it and it does not fit, we need to, some people are like, no, I can't get rid of it. I just bought those. They still have the tag on it. Then we're going to put it aside. We're going to put it in a box. We're going to put it in a laundry basket in your closet, whatever makes you feel comfortable, to see if you go back and reach for those again. But most of the time, even through and it's more through the beginning of the process of going through the closet. Once the first few pieces, you're like, no, I want to keep that. No, I want to keep that. Once you get to the point of trying things on and you see yourself in the new outfits that you made from your own closet, because I've put them together so you can see how your new body is shaped, you're like, oh no, I don't need to keep those pants. I don't need to keep those. But I always suggest, if you are attached to them because you paid a lot of money for it, someone gifted it to you, maybe it's a sentimental piece that, you know, then there's a keepsake box. Let's make a keepsake box. Let's put it somewhere so you can access it if you need to, but it doesn't need to be in the wardrobe. So when you open the closet, you don't want to see those pants that you know you're not going to wear, because all of this visual lines of clothes gives you overwhelm, and overwhelm leads to stress and to meltdowns in the closet.
LeAnn, I was going to tell you, I follow a lady. She does a lot of wardrobe stuff, which that's like what most of my social media is, like funny animal videos and wardrobe people. But she calls that box or that, clothes basket you're talking about, she calls it Closet Purgatory. And I think it's a great name. And she edits stuff out, that she hasn't worn or may not fit, whatever. And she puts it in a closet purgatory in her basement. And she said, if I don't think about that thing or go for that piece of clothing, and she sets like a time limit on it, like a year, 18 months, something like that, then it gets donated or consigned or something like that.
Exactly.
So I think that's a great idea. I mean, like, because sometimes that whole just complete getting rid of something is like, gives people anxiety, so I think maybe, like you said, putting it, out of sight, out of mind, because chances are, if you put it in that box, it's not coming out,
Exactly.
So, and then after it's gone for so long, you could be like, well, I didn't need those things anyway. I don't need those. I can get rid of those. So I think it just kind of puts maybe like a little space in between the complete giveaway and,
It does, because people like to hold on to things because, and I have a friend who really needs a closet edit, and she is so afraid she's going to miss that item. So I'm like, let's just put it somewhere. You don't even know you have it because of all of this that you have going on. The only reason you know you have it is because I pulled it out and said, do you want to keep this? Oh, I love that. When's the last time you wore it? Exactly. So the overwhelm is what we have to cut down on. And a lot of people like a capsule wardrobe for that reason, because everything mixes and matches. But if you're someone like me that likes to have choices, when I go into my closet, I want choices based on how I feel that day. If I want to look bright and springy, I'm going to pull some color. If I want to, look professional, I may want black. I don't necessarily want to be limited to sometimes what a capsule wardrobe gives me the feeling of. I dress on feeling. I think people, when they choose their pieces, they are choosing by their feeling of how they like that piece based on visual feelings, what it gave them. Maybe it reminded them of something. But as we work through the process, you can just see the transformation of, I get it. And it makes so much sense. So there goes that stress, there goes that overwhelm, there goes the anxiety. And then we put outfits together in there. You actually do have clothes that you can wear. If you've gone down several sizes that you don't, which is a client that I worked with yesterday, she's lost 20 pounds since I worked with her in November. She said, I have nothing that fits. Nothing. So, and we walked into a store and that's what she said. Oh my gosh, there's just so much. I don't know where to get started. So most people just turn around and go home. They're like, I can't do it. It stresses people out. So when you have someone that takes you and says, and this is what I said to her, she needs a dress for a special event. So I said, you go to the restroom. I'm going to pull what I know the brand fits your style. And I went and pulled pieces for her. And it's not like I put it on the person and say, hey, this is what you need to wear. No, we have a conversation. It's all about you and how you want to look, how you feel, and how you want your wardrobe to reflect you, because it is a reflection. It is how people perceive you, and we want you to feel good. So the confidence thing is what is my driving factor for doing this.
So that makes me think of something else too. I often say to people, I don't know if you guys can raise your hands if you want, but and certain pair of jeans or a dress or an outfit that you want to look great in, I think is a great reward. So a lot of times when people are on a health journey, they're like, what should I reward myself with? Because it's not going to be a pizza, right? So what are you going to do to treat yourself to something that's going to make you feel confident, happy, fresh, you know, I don't know, I'm sure you have more words than I do for that. So if you think that, if you agree with that, LeAnn, I'm just curious, like, what do you think, about clothes as a reward? And if you think, if someone, for example, Zelly just said she lost 50 pounds and needs new clothes. So if someone is in that position, what do you think is like the best piece to add to your wardrobe that can really make you feel fresh?
It is based on the individual. So for me, it would be jeans. So if I'm going to spend money on a pair of jeans and they fit perfect, and everybody's had that reaction. You put on an item and then you go somewhere and somebody says, "Oh my gosh, you look great. I love that outfit," or "I love those pants." That is my go-to, is a pair of jeans. If I know that I look good in a pair of jeans, that's going to be my goal to get into it. So if you have something in your closet that you purchased, and maybe you purchased it 2 years ago and you're like, "I'm going to get back in that item," whatever it is, let's say it is the jeans, "I'm going to get back in those jeans," then those need to stay in there. That needs to be your focus. That is your why. That is your drive, is to get into those jeans. If you are just trying to get yourself into a certain size, then that's not what we want for your wardrobe, because you just have that mental defeat every time you go to put that on and they still don't fit. Then you think, "I'm still too fat. I still too," or maybe they're bigger. You know, I was very skinny growing up. I would try clothes on and they would not fit. They would fall off. And I would be like, "I'm too skinny." So there is both parts, but you need to have something that excites you. You need to pick the item that excites you, if that's going to be your why, if that's going to be your goal to keep driving you to get to that point.
I think that sounds really cool. I think I'd probably go with jeans too. I think that's really cool. And then also the conversation has come up about body dysmorphia. So we're like, "But I'm not thin. I can't, you know, I don't have a healthy BMI, or I can't wear that because I'm, you know, I have a huge waistline," or, you know, whatever. And it's like, no, actually, I know you've been maybe looking at yourself in that larger size for a long time, but you're not that size anymore. So is that a conversation you have with people? Like, you
It
know,
is.
come to the realization that your body is totally different now?
And again, it is me looking in the mirror with them, pointing out what has changed. What I see is not necessarily what they see. So when we stand in the mirror, I'm always behind them and I am pointing to you, "Look at this, how this looks. I don't even see this. This disappears. This is too big. I can do this on each side." I do have a client that had the gastric bypass surgery, and she automatically lost 20 pounds like that because of the water weight. And as she's had to start buying clothes that fit her, she's like, I'm still buying the same size. It's just a couple sizes smaller." No, it's not. You're buying your clothes too big. And then I will say, "See this? Your shoulders should be up here. See the waist of your pants? They need to be up here. We don't wear our pants unless, you know, you have a long torso. That's another situation. But normally we don't wear our pants this far below our belly button. You know, they need to come up and be at the waistline." And it takes sometimes another person there to give you the reassurance that what you think you see, they are seeing as well. When it comes to, yes, that is too big, or yes, you do need 2 sizes smaller. Sometimes people just, they don't trust themselves. So having another reassuring voice is always helpful to help.
Yeah, that feedback. Wow, I never even thought about that, but that makes a ton of sense. Like, how do I look? Because I've got all these things swimming in my head. How do I really look? Someone to honestly say, like, I know clothes and I know bodies in this bet you this doesn't. That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
But the body shape really does just make a world of difference when you use the few little things that you need to achieve the look that you want. And it's not always that you want to look slimmer. We want to balance out the body. So if you have a larger chest, we want to balance out the bottom half so you don't look like you're top heavy, because a lot of us, we don't lose weight in our chest area. Some of us lose it very first thing. So we need to balance out everything.
Yeah, that makes sense too. These are all like really, really interesting areas. I feel like we could go on and on. I would love to hear if anybody else has questions for LeAnn. What about your wardrobe is stressing you out? Do you want to save time from having, because I'm that person that has the overwhelm. Sometimes I'm standing in front of the closet and I'm like, my husband's like, just choose something. We have to go. And I'm like, okay, let me think about it. So I don't know. What other questions do y'all have?
I have a question, but I want to tell just a tip because I am a teacher. And
Yes.
5 days a week, I get up at 5:45 a.m., every day. I pick all my outfits for the entire week out on Sunday. I iron all of them and leave them hanging. I love to iron. But you don't have to iron. But I think if you're busy and you know what's coming up, I check the weather. I check the daily, a daily schedule. Like I knew I had a parent meeting on Wednesday. So I was like, okay, I'm going to wear dress pants on Wednesday. Like I knew what I had coming up, planned all my, so that I think saves a lot of time, saves a lot of decision fatigue, all those things through the week. I know exactly what I'm going to wear Monday through Friday. They always make fun of me at work because if they'll like in the middle of the week say, oh, tomorrow's School Spirit Day, they'll be like, not for Kelly Walker because her outfits are picked out on Sunday. I'm like, true, not happening. I'm wearing my Thursday outfit.
That is a time saver.
Yeah, it really is. But my question is, and I know how I worked through this myself, when I was working on my health and changing sizes and all the things. But it's hard, to talk to other people about it. And, like Heather said, it's so emotional, when you talk to people.
It is.
And some people are very closed about it, some people are very open, so it just kind of depends. But here's the thing that I realized and that I want other people to realize too when they're going through this is once you feel confident in your health, like you're the healthiest version of yourself, you're doing all the things you should do, your body settles at a space, at a weight, at a size. It's going to be smaller, most likely, than where you started. But, if you go into a store and you try on a dress or a pair of pants in a size that you think you are, and they fit, great. If it's too small, go up a size. If it's too, big, go down a size. It's not necessarily your body. It's the tag inside. It's the cut of the clothes. It's a lot of different things. So I think, and that was, I was like, this is my size, no matter what. And if it didn't fit me, I wouldn't buy it. I'd hang it back up. I wouldn't even try another size on because I wasn't going bigger and I knew it fit small. There's all that stuff. But now I think it's like, I don't even care what the tag says anymore, and how do you talk to people about that? Like, it's the clothes. It's not.
Well, each manufacturer does have, I swear they have their own sizing chart. So that's why I say the number is just a number for you to start with. So I'm going to give you an example. I know that for Calvin Klein, a 6 is a 6 across the board and everything. But if I go to, let's say, Madewell or one of the newer brands or one of the higher designers, they cut theirs like this big. So a 6 is this big. If I go and try and put that on, if I'm a 6 and I put that on, I'm going to have a meltdown. I'm be like, oh my gosh, I cannot. I am not going to go up in number, but I have to say it is a number. Maybe that designer does not make for your body type. Some people, another one, Gap. Gap is a good one, that they cut their clothes a 6 for them, where Calvin Klein's here, a 6 for Gap could be right here. It's just going to fit a little different on each body
I
type.
love Gap, by the way.
Yeah.
Probably
Well,
for that reason.
And it may be because of your body type. That is what looks great on you.
Yeah.
Where someone in my body shape, the Gap always leaves too much room in the front and in the booty and around the waist. No matter what size, it still just doesn't fit because they cut their clothing a certain way. It is them. It is not you.
Right.
It is them.
Yeah. It's hard for people to believe, though.
It is. And it messes with your mental mindset of, oh my gosh, I still can't wear anything. And then that's where the downward spiral starts of, I'm too fat to wear anything.
Well, and I know people that, and Heather knows this definitely from working with me, you have this magical number in your mind, and you think when those numbers line up that, it's just all going to be, everything's going to fit you perfectly, and you're going to be able to just put on anything. And that's never going to be true.
No.
That's, that's, and I just, I try to, can talk to people about that, I'm like, you're never going to love everything, 100% about your body. You're never going to love every piece of clothing that you put on. It's about feeling your best in what you have, so.
Right. And
And
once you figure out what shapes fit you the best and what cuts, that's where it also takes out that whole number situation. Then you are looking like, okay, I know I want it to drape off of my body a certain way. So you're going to find that size that looks the way you want it to, instead of focusing on, I need a size 8. I need a size 12. It's the way it fits on your body, which alleviates that a lot. And so once people learn what cuts and what styles look the best on their body shape, I'm telling you, it's a whole new world. You're just like,
found for myself, like the size that I typically am in most things. If I put something on and that size is like really off, like super tight or like really loose, I'm like, this is probably not the best thing for my body type. Because like you said, I feel like, if you put that size on in that brand and it fits you well, that's probably a cut that's made for your body, so yeah. But I mean, like we were talking about jeans, I feel like jeans are so hard for people.
They are, because it depends on how they are made. Each manufacturer has a certain way that they cut and sew their jeans, that not everybody is the same. And H&M is another example. In an H&M shirt, I swear to you, I bet normally I am about a 10. And normally for H&M or Zara is another one, I have to go up 3 or 4 sizes. So when you know that that's going to happen to you, just don't even go in that store. They are not made for your body. They are probably not going to be made for your style either. They are made for the teeny boppers and the 20-year-olds that, still don't have a chest.
That's funny that you said that, because I can remember a long time ago, like 4+ years ago, hearing people say that, like, oh, in these shorts, I had to go up 2 sizes, or in these jeans, I went up a size or down a size or whatever. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I would never, like if it wasn't the size I wanted, I would put it back,
Exactly.
And I think that comes with confidence, I mean, you're just like, I don't care what the tag says if it feels good and looks good, and I feel good inside. So, and like Zelly mentioned, dysmorphia. I mean, I think if you have lived part of your life not happy with where you are in your health, it's hard. I mean, you will, I mean, don't think you're alone in that. I mean, and I'm sure you tell all your people that too, don't think you're the only person that looks in the mirror and doesn't like what your clothes look like, or the only person looks in the mirror and thinks that you're 2 sizes bigger than you really are.
Exactly.
I call it to my clients, I call it reverse shallow Hal. If anybody's seen that movie, it's like an old comedy movie.
I haven't seen that one.
Okay, well, it's Rob Schneider, I think, is in the movie, and it's terrible. Like, it would never be popular now. It's terrible for, like, with body image problems, and but of course it was funny like 20 years ago. But he sees this woman as like this like super thin fit like model woman, But really, when they show her in reality, she's overweight. You know, so like I said, it's a terrible movie. But I tell my clients, we do the reverse to ourselves. Like as our body
Yes.
gets smaller, we still walk past mirrors and we're like, you know, like I remember seeing my reflection in window glass, like walking down the street, and I was like, who was that? You know, and it was me. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, you still, you know, and I still sometimes look at myself in pictures and think, wow, you know, I can't believe that's me, because you just, you know, see yourself differently.
See it differently.
And you probably will, you know, think that for a lot, but you need people around you that are going to say, hey, you know, let's look at, you know, what we see, you know, let's talk about what we see, because.
And I always ask my clients too, you know, how much of a transformation do you want to have? Because you have to be open to going through that change that's going to happen. A lot of people think it's just clothes. It is not. It is more than just clothing. It is where your complete confidence is starting from. And then we just build from there. You have to put all the pieces together in order to get to where you want to be, to show who you are on the inside, reflected on the outside. And every time we start and they say, you know, oh, I want to do just a little bit. I don't want to get rid of everything. Once they start seeing the transformation process of what they actually look like, then that's it. You're in, ready to go. You're ready for that full transformation. And if you're not, then we need to revisit it. But I always say that I'm part therapist, because we do have to talk it through. We have to discuss what is actually the root of why you think that you don't look good in those pants.
I believe that for sure. Yeah.
But how do you determine your body type? I mean, I've looked at all of the pictures in the magazines.
Okay.
And
So
and they'll have the triangle drawing, or the inverted triangle, or the oval, or whatever. And I'm thinking like, well, I've got that issue, so that aligns to that body shape, or I've got this issue, so it aligns to this body shape. And well, and then at the end, I'm thinking, oh, just forget it, because I feel like I can have pieces from each type.
exactly. And you can remember I said you can have different pieces in your body shape, but most of the time you are not more than 2 shapes combined. So I usually ask a few questions. So do you wear a larger size on the top or the bottom?
Top.
On the top. Do you wear, do you have a waist? Is your waist defined?
Yes. Well, it depends on what weight I am.
Okay.
But yes.
But okay. So when it is defined, is it a lot or just a little bit? So do you
Probably a lot.
A lot. Okay. And so you buy a different size on the top than you do on the bottom. And you have a defined waist.
Yes.
Do you carry your weight in the middle, or do you carry it in your hips?
Probably more hips.
More hips. So do you feel that you're an hourglass shape?
Probably so.
Probably
I
so.
want to be a boy shape. I just want to be straight.
See, everybody always wants what they aren't. Like they're always envious. Like I've always had straight hair. I always wanted curly hair. So I've always been a rectangle, and I always wanted to be an hourglass because I wanted this type of thing. So when you're an hourglass, if that is what you truly are, just from going by these questions, we just balance you out. And then when you look in the mirror, you just see a beautifully shaped body. You don't see anything protruding, because we're going to put on the type of fabrics. Fabric is another thing. Oh, if you want to hide things, do not put on knit. Do not put on anything with a lot of spandex in your jeans, especially. I have girlfriends that they're like, boy, I love these jeans. They're so stretchy, but I don't like how they make those dimples look in my legs. And I'm like, that's because there's too much spandex. It needs some structure. So a woven will glide over the body and a knit will cling. So if you're a hourglass and you want to show off your chest area or your top portion, we're going to do something that's a little bit tighter fitting, and we're going to do something more on the bottom that glides over the bottom part, if that's what you want to focus on. But usually it is something that you have to learn from the body shapes, and by putting clothes on and looking to see how they lay on your particular body. And without me seeing you, I can't really say, but normally if you wear the same size on the top and the bottom and you do not have a defined waist, you are a rectangle. If you wear the same size on the top and the bottom and you have a defined waist, you are an hourglass. If you wear you wear the same size on the top and the bottom without a defined waist, but you carry your weight in the middle, you're more of an apple shape. And then if you buy a smaller top, larger bottom, have a defined waist, you are more than likely a pear. And then pears and hourglasses will have the issue of a gap in the back of your pants. If you have that, you need to look for a curvy fit. They actually will say curvy on the tag. And then that gap goes away. It fits your body perfectly and your booty looks good. It's not overhanging in the front. You're good to go.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I know that Talbot's does carry the curvy. They're
They
one
do.
of the
Mhm.
that will carry the curvy. But then but sometimes I still do okay with the not curvy. It's not horrible. I don't know.
But the
There's just
curvy
something
fits you
about not
better.
wanting to buy the curvy. I guess
Mhm.
that's the same thing as like the number or the size. I don't want to be
Right,
in curvy.
but the curvy doesn't mean plus. So that's
Yeah.
where a lot of people think too. Curvy means that they have, when you hold up a pair of pants, I wish I'd had some here, but if you hold up a pair of pants and they are straight across in the waistband, that is a straight cut. So that is for like a rectangle or someone without a defined waist. But the curvy, when you hold up the pants, the front part will dip down a little bit and allow for your curves that you have. That's why they form to your body better. So it's not necessarily meaning that you are like curvy because you don't fit in a certain size. Curvy means that you've got some curve to you, and that's what we all want.
Unless
Even
you have it.
well, I was going to say, unless you are like wanting to have the boy shape, but trust me, you do not. You do not. You need to embrace your curves.
Well, that's good advice to look for those words too, those little cues on the tags, like this is my cut.
Yes.
You know?
They will also say, some brands will say modern instead of curvy. And some will say, oh, there's one more. I can't think of it right now, but without even looking at the tag, if you hold it up and the pants go straight across, then that is probably going to give you a gap. If you look and the waistband goes down in the front and the back part of the pant is up higher, that is a curvy fit. Try that on the lower and the front and see if that doesn't get rid of your gap.
Very cool. Any other questions?
Me, I got a question.
Go for it, girl.
I put it in the chat, but okay, so work clothes.
Yes.
I am losing weight and I don't want to buy because they're expensive, to be honest with you. Like, what's the point where you should stop pulling in and like modifying your clothes versus buying new clothes? Because it does get expensive when you're going down a few sizes all the time.
Okay. So when you say pulling in, do you mean like cinching with a belt?
No, like actually sitting down with my needle and thread.
Okay, so you're physically altering your clothes into a smaller size. Am I understanding your
Correct.
question? Okay.
Correct. Between either me just with the needle and thread or me and my sewing machine.
It is up to you. If you want to continue to do that, then by all means continue to do that. But you can also look at other alternatives for workwear of what in a different price point. So, and continue to wear from that particular buyer. Let's say you buy 2 pants from Target. Target has some great workwear. So let's say you buy 2 pants from Target and you get 6 to 8 months wear out of that. Do you feel that that is enough wear that you have gotten back what you spent on them? Or do you feel that you need to continue to alter those and save the money before you buy another size? Personally, what do you feel?
I personally don't buy from Target because that doesn't fit my body shape.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm more of a Stitch Fix person. Like I need actual, like it needs to fit. I'm Puerto Rican. I've got a butt.
Yes.
I've got breasts and they will protrude when you least expect it,
Yes.
in terms of sizes.
Okay.
And so my mom likes to say that, she doesn't leave me with anything else except my Puerto Rican heritage, which is all in my body shape.
Well,
And so I'm sorry.
no, I would be like, oh yeah, I'd be thinking I'm gonna look like J-Lo. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the problem, right? Because it doesn't fit. And so sizes, like, I mean, and this is a lot of my dysmorphia is like, and I have my therapist, I'm working on it, I'm
Yes.
talking to Heather, who's my coach. But like, it is a lot of like, how do I look professional? I guess the question is better is, how do I look professional without feeling like, honestly, Stitch Fix can't keep up with me and losing weight, which is, I guess, a good problem, but like, I don't know like how to update my profile or how to figure things out so that I go in, I do have a high ranking job and I go into these meetings with donors, with other people, and I'm just like trying to figure out how to keep my pants up, to be honest with you.
Okay. So what I would do is the size that you currently are, I would at least get 1 pair of pants that fit you at the size you are right now. So they make them for all price points. Even, let me think of what brand it was. I think it was at Dillard's or something. Online is a wonderful thing once you find what brand works for you. So for Stitch Fix, do they send you workwear pants in a brand that works for you?
Yes and no. I mean, that's the hit and miss of Stitch Fix.
Okay.
It's like
So
you get something and you're like,
do you have a pair of pants now that fit you that you haven't altered at all?
Mostly, but they're all stretch pants, like those type of work pants where they just have the elastic. And so
yes,
I feel comfortable buying them because of that.
Okay. So you would like to get in, I would say if you have had to alter the pants that you have, if you have any with buttons and you have had to do the alterations to them 2 times, at least they are not going to hang on you properly. They aren't going to fit your body shape that you are now. So I would find 1 great pair of fitting pants, and I would look at, that's why I was asking you if they sent you a brand that you liked. I would look online, and it may be a little bit of ordering and trying on and sending back. But if you find a manufacturer that works for your body type, you just have to adjust the actual size. If you don't have a manufacturer that works for your body type, then that's when we personally need to like go into the stores and try on the different ones till we find what works for you, because you're going to need a curvy waistband. You're going to need to look for a pant that has some structure to it and not so much stretch. And anything with a button that doesn't have, I'm not going to say not a stretchy waistband, because I do like the Spanx pants that they make, because they do have weight and structure to them. When a pant has a lot of structure and weight to it, it just falls to the body and it just takes on a different look to it. But it's going to be you physically going and trying things on to find what works for your shape now, because you know, you've lost in your waist, you've probably lost in your hips, you've probably lost in your thighs. And so the pants that maybe you have always gone to, they just don't hang the same now. Does that make sense? She's muted.
I'm trying to unmute. I kept trying and it wouldn't let me.
Did that make
I
sense?
was like, I'm here. It totally makes sense. You just said the dreaded words is you got to go in and try out, which is not always. I personally hate shopping and I hate trying on clothes. So you just told me the words that I didn't want to hear, but that's okay, because I had a feeling that was coming.
Yes, you are my client that I had to work with a couple weeks ago that she hates. I mean, it was like pulling teeth to get her to go to the store. And I'm like, you're going. That is the only option that you have. We have to see what works on your body. And we are at the mercy of what the stores have in stock right now. So you have to do a try on, and it really didn't take that long. Thank goodness. It took about, I'm going to say, 4 different styles of pants and 2 different sizes in each one. So in about 30 minutes, we had it narrowed down and bought and out of the store. So it can be painless. it can be painless.
So if anyone wants to take LeAnn shopping with them, I'll share her contact info, and shoot, I forgot to grab it, but I can send it to y'all. Oh yeah, go ahead, Angela.
LeAnn, what would it be if you want to advise to somebody when you go into a local boutiques? What would it be the one thing to avoid buying? Because boutiques don't have a specific, they carry all kinds of brands, of course. But I like to support local businesses, and I do love so many businesses around the area. And I cannot stick with one particular brand because they carry
have different brands.
Right. So what would it be, if you have one suggestion, what would it be one that it says, do not buy, absolutely don't?
I can't say that, because each individual person has their own style. So if you want things that always fit you snugly, as in tight, or if you have things that you always want loose, or you like sheer, or you like flowers, I mean, it's all going to be on your personal style. So give me an example of like what you think. I shouldn't buy that. What are you thinking that you?
For example, I guess I'm athletic fit, because I wear the same bottom and top, but I have a little waistline. I have never had it. And so I'm fine with it, because that's my type of body. But I like to be in style. So for example, right now, the cargo pants are coming back. I would love to get them, but I noticed that most of them are made at really teeny tiny in the waist. It don't fit me, but they make such a big hips, and they don't look good on me because I don't have big hips or big butt. I'm the opposite, just a little waistline, little hips, little booty.
So if you wanted to add some volume and show, like, let's say you wanted to balance out the top. Let's say your top half is larger than your bottom half, and you want to balance that out, then you would choose a cargo pant, because pockets add volume. They add volume to the eye. So if you put those cargo pants on and you're like, oh, I love the way I look, then those are perfect for you. There is no right or wrong when it comes to shopping. There is no right or wrong when it comes to choosing your pieces. It is just what you feel good in, what you want to wear. And if you are going for a certain look and a cargo pant is what you want to wear, then by all means, that's what you need to get. But if you put those cargo pants on and they make you feel self-conscious, or you're constantly like pulling at them and trying to adjust them, don't buy those. Those are something you are never going to wear when you get them home, because you did not feel good in them.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
That's probably good advice. Put it on and go with your first instinct. Like, how does this, affect my mood? Maybe even wearing this outfit.
If you have to talk yourself into buying it because you love it so much, you will never reach for it in your closet. If you put it on and you're like, oh my God, I love this. Then that's the piece you need to go with.
Yeah.
But if you have to have a conversation with yourself in the dressing room that I really need to buy this because it's a good deal, that's the other one. People are like, oh, it's a good deal, it's on sale. No. If it is not made for you and you do not feel good in it, then you did not save any money by buying that on sale.
Well, let's close with that. That's a great, strong point. You did not save any money if you are not going to wear that. So if anybody wants to get in touch with LeAnn, I'll share her contact information. And she has a free 30-minute assessment she does if you're like, oh, I might need some help as my body's changing. So y'all can get in touch with her if you would like, and I'm sure she would help answer more questions if you have them. But this has been really fun, and thank you, LeAnn. This is a really
Oh, you are so welcome.
Really
I hope I
cool.
answered everybody's questions. I hope that you kind of got out of it what I was trying to say, because sometimes I just ramble on and lose all focus. So the link that she will share with you, if you have specific questions about, like Robin with your pants and things, or anyone else has specific things they want to know, just it's a link that you can pick a day and a time, and we just have a little chat, and maybe I can answer them more specifically guided for you.
I found the link. There it is. It's in the chat if y'all want to go copy and paste it. I just remembered I could pull it up from my computer. So I'm going to end our recording, and we are going to, I'll save this if someone, needs to grab